ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Bhagavatam review class. Thank you for coming. We are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. And last time we discussed the 10th chapter, fight between Dhruva and Yakshas was described in great detail. And lots of lessons about the life of a sadhaka. We heard how the attack of Yakshas, it is very similar to the attack of Maya on a living entity, on a sadhaka. How we saw Dhruva Maharaj, he was very, very expert in fighting with all the yakshas and he defeated all of them and then they all disappeared. So in our fight with our anarthas, with the material nature, sometimes it seems that they are gone. But then they start creating illusions and all the mystic spells. And that's how Maya also works. She starts creating so many illusions for a sadhaka, and the sadhaka gets overwhelmed. At that time, we heard how the sages, they arrived at that place even without being called. Dhruva didn't call them. They came on their own and they reminded Dhruva that please remember the names of Lord Narayan. And the chapter ended with this verse. औत्तानपाद भगवं स्तव सारंग धनवा देवः शृणोत्यवनतार्ति हरो विपक्षान् यन्नामधेयमभिधाय निशम्य चाद्धा लोको अंजसातरति दुस्तरमंग मृत्युम. So he says, they are saying Uttanapad, O son of Uttanapad, the Supreme Lord who has Saranga, the bow of the Lord is called Saranga, Saranga Dhanavaha. He always appears to remove the distress of his devotees. What to speak of this illusion? One can cross the entire material existence by chanting the names of Lord. Namadheya, just by chanting the names. Loko Anjasa Tarati, very easily they cross the ocean of material existence. So please chant the names of Lord Narayan. So they told him to invoke Narayanastra. So that's how the chapter ended. So today we'll be discussing the 11th chapter. Swayambhu Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. So Dhruva, when he heard the encouraging words of all the sages, he performed Achman, he purified himself, and he invoked Narayan Astra. So earlier, Dhruva Maharaj was angry when Suruchi, she spoke harsh words. And now he is angry because his stepbrother was killed. That's how when people, they come in contact with Krishna consciousness, they get transformed. They have no enmity for anyone. They are called as Ajata Shatru. They are Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. So this transformation happens by the process of devotional service. So now as soon as Dhruv Maharaj chanted the names of Lord Narayan, invoked the Narayanastra, immediately all the illusion got dispelled. As he fixed the bow on the arrow, all the illusion got dispelled. That is the first thing which happens when we start practicing Krishna consciousness. The illusion gets dispelled. This world is full of illusory happiness. And all the billboards and all the advertisement, all the media, they are showing illusory happiness, which many times we don't get. Many times whatever we see in the billboards, they are unattainable. And even if we get it, we don't get the way we want. It is unpalatable. And even if we get the way we want, it is unretainable. We can't retain it. So this is the first illusion which gets dispelled, that all the happiness of this world has problems involved in it. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. It is just like when the sun rises, all the fog gets disappeared. There's a verse in 6th canto. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agham dhunvanti kartsnena niharam iva bhaskaraha. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. Just by practicing unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, agham dhunvanti, all the sins get dissipated. Just like when the sun rises, fog completely gets disappeared. So that's how this Dhruv Maharaj, as soon as he chanted the names of Lord Narayan, invoked this Narayanastra, all the illusion got dispelled. And Prabhupada, he never leaves the chance to, whenever this Narayanastra is coming. So what Prabhupada will tell? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given us the weapon for this age. What is that? Sangopangastra. Sangopangastra. Krishna Varnam, Tusha Krishnam, Sangopanga Astra. So the Astra is the chanting of the names of the Lord. That is the Narayanastra. And association is the weapon. When we are in association of devotees, when we are chanting the names of the Lord in association, that is the weapon which can dispel the illusion, which can dispel the ignorance, which can dispel the darkness which is there in the heart. So we should always be eager to be in association. As Prabhupada says in many places, if somebody thinks he can practice Krishna consciousness alone, he is insane. It is impossible. Because in association, we heard a prayer of Dhruv Maharaj also. Bhakti muhu prabhatam toy me prasango. I want association of your devotees. So then, Dhruv Maharaj, he invoked Narayanastra and he put that arrow on his bow. We'll recite this verse. Sandhiyamana etasmin maya guhyak nirmitah Shipram Vineshur Vidura Klesha Jnanodaya Yatha. Sandhiyamana, as soon as Dhruv Maharaj joined the arrow to his bow, Maya Guhyak, all the Maya which was created by all the Yakshas, it was Shipram Vineshu. Immediately it was destroyed. It didn't take time. Klesha Jnanodaya Yatha, just like all the pains and the pleasures, they are vanquished when one realizes I am not this body, I am soul. Then he's in a situation where he is not affected by the pains and pleasures of this body, of this world. So that's how, a glimpse of bhakti is sufficient to dispel the illusion. Krishna Surya Sam Maya Hoye Andhakar. Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. So that's how, as soon as he invoked the arrow, put it on his bow, all the illusion got dispelled. And it depends on the intensity of our devotional service. And if the lamp is a very small lamp, it will dispel only little darkness. If it is a blazing fire, then entire darkness can be destroyed. So if we practice Krishna consciousness and our devotional service is very small, very fragile, in the beginning stages, it will dispel little bit of darkness only. Prabhupada writes, as soon as there is awakening of Krishna consciousness, all the illusory pleasures and the pains are vanquished. So in the process of Krishna consciousness, what we have to do is to increase the quality and if possible quantity of our chanting. And quality is more important. Why quantity is emphasized? Because when we chant more, then naturally we are forced to think, anyways, I am putting so much of time, better I chant properly. If I am chanting 2 hours every day, better I chant properly. Anyways, I have to chant. रो के करेंगे, हंस के करेंगे, करना तो है ही. So better chant properly. And the more we chant in right consciousness, the more we are attentive, the more we'll experience the presence of Krishna when we are praying to Krishna. And we have to learn to see the presence of Krishna in our lives. Many times we theoretically understand, but we don't see the hands of Krishna in our lives, in whatever is happening, even small things. Sometimes somebody comes and gives some Mahaprasad or garland, on their own. And we may thank that devotee, but we forget to realize, to appreciate that Krishna sent this. That is the way we have to become more and more conscious. So as soon as Dhruva fixed his arrow on the bow, many golden shaft arrows, they started coming out from that arrow, even before releasing the Naranastra, and they started destroying all the armies. And Maitreya says, just as the peacocks enter the forest with a tumultuous crowing, all these arrows were entering the armies of the Yakshas. So automatically, all the anarthas get dispelled. And of course, we have lots of anarthas since millions of lifetimes. It may seem that up to ho gaya sab, now I am purified, it seems, but no, another stock is coming. We have just emptied one small stock. Another huge stock is yet remaining to bewilder us. So that keeps coming, and Lord plans our life in a way that He'll always keep us on the edge. I read a wonderful statement. When Lord pushes us to edge, two things will happen. Either He will catch us, or He'll teach us how to fly. So that's what happens in our lives when we are practicing Krishna consciousness. We have to learn to take shelter of Krishna and understand that, okay, all these anarthas, they are just a sample. What we have is unlimited account. So just be patient. In due course of time, kalena, in due course of time, it will happen. Till that time, we have to just learn to tolerate. So all these arrows, they started creating havoc, and all the remaining yakshas, they started running away everywhere. And soon, Dhruva, he started killing yakshas in great numbers. And it is said they were all sent to Brahmaloka. So Chakravarti Thakur and Prabhupada also writes in the purport that this is the power of a devotee. Devotee is as powerful as Krishna. Just by being killed by a devotee, they got promoted to Brahmaloka, the place which is only there for those who are very, very austere, very, very pure in nature. These people also attain that destination. So here Dhruva, he's showing emotions of anger. And many times, people, they have their stereotyped understanding about a devotee. Devotee should be peaceful, grave, no emotions. Srila Prabhupada was not that type of saint. Even Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was also different. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, his way of functioning was, okay, if this building is getting deteriorated, we'll renovate the building and do patch up here and there. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he would say, break the building, make the new one. He was a revolutionary. So Bhima and Yudhishthir, completely different. Bhima was easily angered and Yudhishthir was very peaceful. So we should not judge the devotee's devotion based on the external behavior. So that's how Dhruva is showing such great anger. Prabhupada writes, if killing is done by Supreme Lord or his devotee or in great sacrifice, it is for the benefit of entity killed in that way. It is described in the third canto when Uddhava is describing the battle of Kurukshetra. He is telling to Vidurji. There he tells, Tathaiva chanye naraloka vira yada have Krishna mukharavindam netre pibanto nayanabhiramam parthastra puta padama purasya. In the battle of Kurukshetra, what was happening? Krishna was driving the chariot and all the enemies, they would come, and as they're about to shoot the arrow on towards Arjun, they would see the beautiful face of Krishna and they would be absorbed for a few seconds seeing the beauty of Krishna, and taking advantage of that, Arjun would shoot the arrows and kill them. But Partha Astra Puta, there also the word used is Puta. They are purified by the weapons of Arjun. They also attained higher destination. So that's how Chakravarti Thakur writes that, but still there is a difference. These people, all these yakshas, they went to Brahmaloka, but they didn't get liberated from there. Because liberation is only given by Krishna. When Krishna kills, the person gets liberated. Demons also get liberated. But when a devotee, kills, he may get higher destination, that person, but he is not liberated. So, and then Prabhupada writes, only by bhakti one gets liberated. Harim vinana sritim taranti. One cannot cross this ocean of material existence without taking shelter of Hari. So now, as Dhruva is killing yakshas in huge numbers, Swayambhu Manu, he saw that his grandson, he is really going beyond. He is killing yakshas who are not offenders also. One yaksha killed his brother, Dhruva's brother, and here he is killing so many yakshas in great numbers. Prabhupada writes, this is the situation in the current times also. For one man's fault, a whole state is sometimes attacked. This is not approved by the Manu. So then, after this, Swayambhu Manu, he comes and he wants to teach Dhruva the right way. He is now giving wonderful instructions to Dhruva Maharaj. He gives various reasons why Dhruva should stop killing. This type of things have happened many times. Even when Parikshit Maharaj was killed by this Takshak. And at that time, Janmejaya, the son of Parikshit, was very small. Then when he grew up, he came to know that his father was killed unjustly by Takshak. He started doing a Sarpa Yagya. And he wanted to destroy the entire race of snakes. All the snakes started falling in the Yagya. That was the power of the Brahmanas. And he asked that why Takshak is not coming. So the sages said that Indra is protecting Takshak. So he said, okay, bring Takshak along with Indra. So all these Brahmanas, they were so powerful, they chanted mantras, and Indra, he started falling in the Yagya. That time Brihaspati came and stopped. So here also again, the same thing is happening. So we have to understand how great one may be. There is a scope of deviation at every step. So one should always have some senior to guide us, to help us, so that we don't get deviated. At whatever level we may be. Dhruva, who got darshan of the Lord, who got blessings from the Lord, He has got assurance from the Lord, you will not get, deviated, you will have, pure devotion, you will attain my abode, but still he gets deviated. So there are many instances, devotees getting bewildered. Arjun got bewildered before the war. Yudhishthir Maharaj got bewildered after the war. Here now, Dhruva is getting bewildered. Even Vyasdev got bewildered after writing the Vedas. He also had to be instructed by Narad Muni. So therefore, we have to have somebody to correct us, to guide us at whatever level we may be. If somebody thinks, I have no one to guide me, I don't need anyone. That is a very, very dangerous situation. So devotees, they have to have someone, and we should be in a mood to accept the advice also. The demons, they don't accept the advice. The devotees, saintly people, they accept the advice of seniors. So now, Manu, he tells 4 reasons why Dhruva should stop killing from the point of view of dharma. I will recite this verse. Manura uvacha alam vatsati roshena tamodvareణ papmana yena punya jananetan avadhisvam managasah. Alam, enough of this, O my son, Vatsa. Ati roshena, it is not good to become unnecessarily angry. Ati rosha. Because it is tamodvarena papmana. It is a path to hell. As Krishna says, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanah kama krodha tatha lobha tasmad etat tyajet. 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita. I think you can just push the door close. So there are 3 gates to hell: Kama, Krodha, and Lobh, lust, anger, and greed. So he's saying Tamodvarena, this anger is a path to hell. And all these yakshas, they are not offenders. They are punya janan. They have not killed your brother. You have already punished, you have already killed the person who killed your brother. Please don't kill all of them. Avadhis tvam anagasaha. Now you are going beyond the limit. So Prabhupada writes, killing is not bad, but when it is done unnecessarily and when offenseless people are killed, then it is a path to hell. And then Prabhupada writes about modern warfare in which all the innocent civilian citizens are killed. It is the most sinful activity. And then Prabhupada writes that when a nation is attacked by the enemies and there are so many innocent citizens killed, it is actually a reaction because the state is maintaining so many slaughterhouses. And many times, this is a reaction, how the nature gives the reaction to people. That's the nature's law. So of course, when some person is affected, we should be very sensitive in speaking, how to present this. First thing a person needs is consolation. And the philosophy of why you are suffering and all these things, it should be done in a very, very sensitive way. But Prabhupada, many times he writes this. When there is some natural disaster or some calamity coming, we should understand that it is the way nature is reacting, because there are so many sinful activities happening in the state. He says, he gives 4 reasons. First, he says is excessive anger is the path to hell. Second, oh Dhruva, this is not at all approved by authorities. It is not right. It will not benefit our family also. So therefore, Swayambhuva Manu had that faith that if I'll tell Dhruva, he will understand and accept it. We should generate such trust in the superiors that they can come and tell anytime that you are wrong. Many times a person is doing something wrong, and if we go and tell some seniors and they say, "Abhi inko kaun bolega?" He doesn't listen to anyone. That is a very difficult situation. So Dhruva, Swayambhu Manu had that faith that, oh, Dhruva will listen to me. So therefore, he is telling it will not benefit our family. And you have already proven that you are affectionate to your brother. You have killed the yakshas, you have taken the revenge. And just one yaksha killed your brother and you have killed so many. It is not right. So that was the point of view of Dharma. And then he speaks from the point of view of Vaishnava culture. Nayam margo hi sadhunam Rishikeshanuvartinam Yadatmanam paragrihya Pashuvat bhutavaishasam Na ayam marga. This marg which you are following is not followed by saintly people, sadhunam. And who are the sadhus? Rishikesh Anuvartinam. Only one who is a devotee of Krishna is considered sadhu. Prabhupada writes, who is a saintly person? A saintly person is he who follows the devotional path of devotional service. All the other things which people do, they may be called as nice activities, but what is Bhagavatam's definition of sadhu? And Bhagavad Gita's definition? Daivi Esha Gunamai Mahatmanas Tumam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. Who is a Mahatma? A person who has taken shelter of Daivi Prakriti. That means devotional service. So Rishikesh Anuvartinam, those who are following the path of devotional service, they should not follow this path. Yadatmanam paragagrihya. One should not accept the body as the self. And Pashuvat, like animals, one should not kill others' body for our own benefit. Pashuvat bhuta vaishasam. So that's how he's saying animals attack others for their sake. Humans should not do it. And especially devotees should not practice this path. Prabhupada writes, why should a person who is already engaged in devotional service engage himself in personal sense gratification? Because he's saying you are already a pure devotee of the Lord. You have pleased the Lord. Why you are doing such sinful activity? Why you are behaving as if you are in a bodily conception of life? Because you are thinking, my brother was killed, so therefore I'll kill everyone. This is not right. You have already punished the person. So Swayambhu Manu is making precise statements because he knows he has less time. And strongly he is telling, this will take you to hell. It is not benefiting for the family and it is not approved by the authorities. There was only one yaksha who did this, and it is a bodily concept of life. So again and again, Swayambhu Manu is giving instructions. So we should understand that however great a person may be, here this is the classic example. Always we need guidance. There is no exception to it at whatever stage. Even at the stage of Bhava, Bharat Maharaj, he fell down. It comes in the 5th canto. He was at the stage of Bhava, but there was no superior, there was no devotee association to correct him. So therefore he is saying you are the best of the devotees, so it is not befitting you. And then he continues in 2 verses expressing this. Sarva bhutatma bhavena bhutavasam harim bhavan aradhyapaduraradhyam vishnustatparam padam. Supreme Lord, Super Soul is Sarva Bhutatma Bhavena. He is there in everyone's heart and you've attained him by your meditation. Bhutavasam, he is there in every living entity. You have attained him by your meditation. And although it is Duraradhya, it is very difficult. Narad Muni also told Uttanpat, your son has done the most difficult thing in the entire creation. Sudushkaram karam kritva lokapalai rapi prabho. What he has done? He has pleased the Lord. So he's reminding Dhruva, you have pleased the Lord, you have done the most difficult thing in the entire creation. Duraradhya. So to get a chance to please the Lord is the most wonderful opportunity. It is the greatest fortune. And if we forget that, then it is a most unfortunate situation. So therefore, he's reminding you have attained the most fortunate position. Why you are again degrading to the unfortunate condition? This is what we have to remind ourselves again and again when all the temptations come, when the anarthas come up. We have to remember that we have become really fortunate. Just because of some anarthas, just because of course, sometimes anarthas are overwhelming. But we should always remember what we have got. We have to remind. Somebody has to remind us. We should have devotees where we can confide. It comes in the 7th canto. After Narad Muni describes the story of Prahlad and Narsimadev to Yudhishthir Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj started thinking, oh, such a great devotee, Prahlad, for one devotee, one avatar. I am not so fortunate. I am so unfortunate. So Narad Muni is telling, oh, you know what is your fortune? Yuyam niloke bat bhuri bhaga lokam punana munayo bhiyanti. Yesham grihana vasatiti sakshat gudham param brahma manushya lingam. O Yudhishthir, you are Niloke, entire humanity, you are the most fortunate. But bhuri आपके भाग्य की कोई गणना ही नहीं. You are most fortunate. Why? Are great sages and devotees and munis and yogis, they are doing tapasya for millions of lifetimes. And they are not able to see even the tip of the toe of the Lord. And that Supreme Lord, Lokam Punana Munayo Bhiyanti, what he is doing? Yesham Grihana Vasatiti Sakshat. He is residing in your home. He has become your chariot driver. He has become your messenger. He has become your protector. Sarathya, Parashad, Sevana, Sakhya, Dautya, Veera, Sananugamana, Stavana, Pranaman. He is doing everything for you. Snigdheshu. Because you are malleable to the will of Krishna. He is doing everything for you. Yesham Grihana Vasatiti Sakshat Gudham Param Brahma. That Supreme Param Brahma. He is staying in your house as Manushya, in the form of a human being. So that's how we have to remind, and somebody has to remind us. So Swayambhu Muni is reminding, Duraradhyam Aradhyapa. You are fortunate. You are worshipping that Supreme Lord. Devotional service is so very rare. Vishnu Statparam, and you have already attained the abode of Lord Vishnu. It is guaranteed. Ticket is in your hand. आपको दे दिए टिकट, ये लो फ्लाइट का टिकट है, flight will come, Vaikuntha Viman will come. Srila Prabhupada has given us that ticket. And what we have to do is just keep that and don't bargain with Maya Devi. Maya Devi will keep on bargaining. ये काम नहीं करेगा. This is not working. I'll give you original one. This is a fake ticket. It will not take you anywhere. You will not get this world also. You will not get that world also. Na idhar na Maya mili na Ram. ऐसा हो जाएगा. So we have to develop that faith. So Prabhupada writes, even though Dhruva could have argued that it is his duty to fight and kill the enemy, so therefore Swayambhu Manu is saying every living entity is the residence of the Lord. Please understand that. And therefore please don't kill unnecessarily. So tendency to get deviated is there in everyone. It is like while we are driving, what a driver does, he does only one thing, keep the car on track, avoid deviation. Natural tendencies to get deviated. So, कब तक करना है ये? शक्नोति है यशोडुम प्राक शरीर विमोक्षणात्. Till the time we have this body. Till that time we have to learn to tolerate And we have to always remind us that we have become really fortunate. Don't get disturbed by the temptations of material energy, by our anarthas. He continues. Swatvam hera anudhyata tatpumsamapi sammataha katham tvadyam kritavan anusikshan satamratam Sattvam Harer Anudhyata. Very interesting word. Anudhyata. Harer Anudhyata. Prabhupada and Chakravarti Thakur, they give two different meanings of this. Harer Anudhyata. Chakravarti Thakur writes, because you are always remembering the Lord. Prabhupada writes, because you are a pure devotee, Lord is always thinking of you. Sattvam Harer Anudhyata and Tat Pumsam. And you are recognized by the great devotees also. Api sammata. You are recognized by the Lord and you are recognized by the devotees of the Lord. Katham tva avadyam kritavan. I am therefore surprised. Katham. How can you do such abominable activity? As Krishna says, Kutastva kashmalamidam. How come this impurity has come upon you, Arjun? So that is what he is saying. Anushiksham. You are teaching people by your exemplary behavior and you are doing this abominable activity. What is this? Prabhupada writes, Dhruva was a pure devotee and was accustomed to always thinking of the Lord. And reciprocally, Lord also thinks of his devotees. The famous wonderful story about Hanumanji and Ram. One time Hanumanji, he went to Lord Ram and Lord Ram was reading some diary. What type of diary is this, my Lord? This is the diary, all the devotees who always remember me. That is there in this. So he says, can I see this diary? He kept on flipping the pages and he didn't find his name. He was very sad. What is this? And Lord Ram could understand this. He took out another diary. And what type of diary is this? No, this is the diary of devotees who I remember the most. And in that, he saw his name was the first. So that is how Lord also remembers his devotees. So that's how we should always understand. As soon as one starts practicing Krishna consciousness, Lord remembers the devotees. It is not that, okay, I will not remember them now. After some time when they become more advanced, then I'll take to their care personally. Take them in my care. No, he does it since the beginning. Since the beginning of Krishna consciousness, Krishna takes care of his devotee's life personally. Whatever happens in the life of a devotee is personally orchestrated by the Lord. And the more we have that faith, the more we will tolerate the problems in peaceful way. Because we will understand this is planned by the Lord. There must be something good in this for me. Lord wants me to learn from this. And we'll take it in right consciousness. So therefore, Swayambhu Manu is telling, you are a devotee. Why are you behaving in a wrong way? So as a devotee, if somebody dresses as a Vaishnava and he, if somebody is dressed as a Vaishnava, dhoti, kurta, tilak, and he starts abusing and giving bad words. One time, one devotee was taking yatra and there were a few devotees with him and train stopped at one station and some outside person got inside and started giving abusive language, bad words to devotees. And one of the devotee was always very peaceful, good devotee. He also started shouting all the bad words, abuses, and all the devotees, they got surprised. Ye Prabhuji aise to nahi the. Who is this personality? And then he just drove that person away, and then he came and saw all the devotees were shocked. This Prabhuji was very, very sober, simple. What happened to him? He said, oh Prabhuji, don't worry. This is my old dictionary, I don't use this much, but whenever needed, I use it.
Normally they say no, if somebody abuses you, you should tolerate. But if somebody abuses the devotees around you, then you should protect them and
Yes.
say things. So it was not good on his part.
Yeah. I'm just telling, the devotees, we have a particular conception about devotees, no? Ki they should speak in a nice way, but keep quiet, peaceful, sober. Of course, whatever is needed, we should do when it comes to, protecting devotees and protecting the Lord. Then Swayambhuvanu describes the behavior of a devotee. Titikshaya karunaya Maitreya chakhila jantushu samattvena cha sarvatma Bhagavan samprasidati. So the Lord is very satisfied with the devotees when they have all these qualities. Titiksha means tolerance. Karuna, mercy. Maitreya cha akhila jantusu, friendly towards all the living entities. Samatvena, equal disposition. So that is the duty of a advanced devotee, to deal with everyone as per their level. As a bhajan says, Sakala sammana korite shakati deho natha jatha jatha. तबे तो गाइबो हरिनाम सुखे अपराध हबे हत. It begins with Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroi Dase Trinapekha Atihina. So in that he says, Oh Gurudev, please give me strength so that I can respect everyone. Sakala sammana korite shakati deho natha yatha yatha. At whatever level they are, I should give them respect at their level. Lord is there in everyone's heart. We cannot just tell all the, just for example, if the lion is coming, oh, Lord is there in the heart. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Lion will say Mahaprasade Govinde. We should learn to respect. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, there are 3 levels of devotee: Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam. Madhyam Adhikari is the platform where we should come up to, at least. And Madhyam Adhikari has 4 types of dealings with 4 types of people. Ishware tad adhineshu, balisheshu, dvishatsu cha, prema, maitri, kripa, upeksha, yah karoti, sa madhyama. Ishwar, devotees, innocent and envious. These are the 4 types of people we will meet in this world. ईश्वर, भगवान से क्या करना है? प्रेम. Devotees, friendship. Innocent, show mercy. Envious, neglect them. So that is the duty of a Madhyam Adhikari. So that is what pleases Krishna. Bhagavan samprasidati.
How do you know at what level we are? Kanishka, Madhyam.
At least we should try to come to the Madhyam level. Kanishta means his faith is very soft. Anybody says anything about Krishna and devotion, हाँ यार ये तो मेरे को पता ही नहीं था, अच्छा वो बताया, thank you for saving me, otherwise I would have lost something in my life. And he starts getting doubts about the process. He has no faith in the scriptures. He has not read the scriptures. He thinks only me and God. No devotee. मुझे devotees की जरूरत नहीं है. I will worship God and I don't need devotee. मेरा भगवान से direct relation, मालूम है? ये बाकी लोगों की जरूरत नहीं है मुझे. That is a Kanishta. Madhya means he understands devotees are very, very crucial. Devotee association is the must. And then,
sorry, the third one you said was what? Ishwar, devotee,
innocent.
Innocent. Very sure compassion.
Compassion. Just help them come close to Krishna. And those who are envious, neglect them. Neglect them. What is the neglect? That does not mean when he is coming, we'll change our way. Neglect means we'll not discuss anything spiritual with that person. We will talk, we will help him in need. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says a devotee should be the first person to help, even an envious person. Neglect means I'll not talk with you on any of these matters, spiritual matters. I'll help you if needed, but I'll not discuss about all these spiritual subject matters because you are envious. You don't have faith. You criticize. So just like Prabhupada was dealing with Mayavadis, very, very friendly, but no discussions of spiritual subject matter. Of course, when it comes to debate and argument, we'll present our opinions.
Prabhuji, can we give to prasad to them?
Prasad, to anyways we can give anytime, anywhere. So titikshaya karunaya, all these things, if you do, Lord will be pleased. What is the result of pleasing the Lord? What will happen when the Lord is pleased? Samprasanne Bhagavati
Samprasanne Bhagavati
Purusha Prakritair Gunaihi
Purusha Prakrite Gune
Vimukto Jiva Nirmukto
Vimukto Jiva Nirmukto
Brahma Nirvanam Richati.
Brahma Nirvana Richati.
Samprasanne Bhagavati, one who satisfied the Supreme Lord. Purusha Prakritai Gunaihi, during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the modes of nature. And Vimukto, thus being freed from the material clutches, Brahma Nirvanam, he attains unlimited bliss. He is blissful. He is free from the subtle body. He is free from the coverings of anarthas. By pleasing the Lord, all these things happen. Prabhupada writes, everyone in this world is struggling to achieve blissful life, but people do not know how to achieve it. Everybody wants to be happy, peaceful, satisfied. I don't know how to get it. Krishna says a very simple happiness equation in Bhagavad Gita. Na asti buddhiya yuktasya, na cha yuktasya bhavana, na cha bhavayata shanti, ashantasya kutha sukham. If your intelligence is not in me, if you're not thinking about me, if you're not serving me, na cha bhavayata shanti, you can never be peaceful. And ashantasya kutha sukham, a peaceful, a restless person, how can he be satisfied? How can he be happy? So Prabhupada focuses on this word samprasanne. He says a devotee worships the Lord, satisfies the Lord, and he is automatically satisfied. Watering the root of the tree gets nourished. And Prabhupada writes, karmis, they try to engage in sense gratification to satisfy themselves. Jnanis, they want to become the Lord. Yogis, they want mystic powers. But devotee, they only satisfy the Supreme Lord. Yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. When the Lord is pleased, everyone is pleased. So that is the understanding. And then Swayambhu Manu, first he spoke from Dharma point of view. Then he spoke from Vaishnava point of view. And still, after hearing all this, Dhruva, he was still not satisfied. So now he is giving a philosophical explanation that how this material body is created by nature. Whatever is happening by the will of the Lord. Why are you so much disturbed by the death of your brother? Because ultimately everything is happening by the will of the Lord according to the karma. So he speaks now 10 verses describing the nature of the things of the world. He says the entire creation is made up of elements, 5 elements, and everything is created by the union of man and women. That is a source of creation in this world. So you are thinking that your brother is killed. No, he is not killed. Soul is eternal. Body is anyways going to get destroyed. So and he says yakshas is not at fault. It is the material nature which is working through yakshas. So that's how he says that, oh Dhruva, simply by illusory energy, and by the interaction of the modes of nature, this creation, maintenance, and destruction happens. So don't worry about all that. Dhruva may say, well, how can creation, maintenance, and destruction take place without some consciousness involved? There must be somebody who is doing all this, right? Swayambhumnu says, yes, it is Supreme Lord who is a remote cause. He is involved in creation, maintenance, and destruction. Just like the iron is moved by the magnet, everything in this world is moved by the will of the Supreme Lord. Then Supreme Lord is responsible because he is doing it. He says, no, Supreme Lord is not responsible because he is not attached to it. He is just giving the results of our activities. Who is responsible? Living entity. We are responsible. Supreme Lord is responsive. We are responsible. We desire, and based on our desires, Supreme Lord gives facilities to enjoy. And then he says there are different powers of the Lord which are working in this world, Dhruva. He is ever existing. He is all powerful. He is controlling this entire universe. He never gets implicated in all this creation. Whatever he does, if we create something, we get attached to it. Lord never gets attached. So therefore, he is not responsible for this. So in this way, he describes how philosophically you should not be so much disturbed. Lord Dhruva may say, Lord is partial. Why he allowed my brother to be killed? It is injustice on the part of Supreme Lord. Right. Swayambhu Manu says, no, he is not partial. He is just giving the results of our own karma. For him, there is no one who is friend, no one who is enemy. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Name dvesho asti na priyaha. Nobody is dear to me, nobody is inimical to me. So that's what he says. And he says, Supreme Lord, although he is engaged in all this creation, he never gets implicated. He's all powerful. He's beyond the modes of nature. He's transcendental. So therefore, you should not think that he is responsible. And although you are saying that karma is responsible, so what is exactly the cause of a person's suffering? Swayambhu Manu says, well, there are many philosophers who say different things. Some people say karma is the cause. Some people say daiva is the cause. Some people say, oh, nature is the cause. Just like the similar conversation came in the 18th chapter, first canto, between Dharma bull and Mother Earth. When Parikshit Maharaj came and saw that bull was really suffering, his 3 legs were broken, and he asks, cow, who was Earth? Who is responsible? And Samne, Kali personified, is standing with a sword. So natural understanding is he is responsible. Dharma bull says, I don't know who is responsible. Some people say karma is responsible. Some people say nature is responsible. So that's what he says. There are many philosophers, they say many things. Dhruva may say, but what is the reality? Swayambhu Manu says, nobody knows the truth. How Lord works, nobody knows. All are ignorant. In fact, how Lord works, nobody can know. In the first canto, when Bhishma, he is telling all the Pandavas, oh, you all suffered so much. Aho kashtam, aho anyayam, yadyuyam dharmanandana. All of you suffered so much. And but whatever has happened, it is by the will of time. It is by the inconceivable time factor. Sarvam kal kritam. And then he says, you know, who is this time factor? This Krishna standing in front, he is the time factor. Don't think he is your cousin. Yan manyase matuleyam suren mritram priyattamam sachivam akarod dutam sauridat atasaradhi. He is behaving as your chariot driver. He is behaving as your messenger. He is behaving as your protector. Don't think he is any of that. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat. He is a supreme Lord. So Yudhishthir may say, well, we'll ask him, na? Why is he doing like this? Bhishma says, even if you ask, he will not answer. And even if he answers, he will not understand. Nahi asya karhichit rajan puman ved vidisthastam yad vijigyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Nobody can understand the plans of the Lord. How Lord works, why he does something, even great poets, great scholars also cannot understand. Just accept it. Why Lord has put me in this situation? Nobody can tell. Just accept it that Lord has a plan for me. So no one cannot speculate. And Prabhupada tells the story of Dr. Frog, the famous story of Dr. Frog, who tried to find the width of the Pacific Ocean. So he says all the scientific people, they're trying to find the origin of this world. They'll never understand. So therefore, oh my son, he says, for fault of one yaksha, you have killed so many. Please stop killing. And please understand, don't blame the Lord. He is not responsible. He never gets affected. Lord always remains aloof. So therefore, please stop killing. Dhruva, he says, still, although you have described so many things, still I cannot give up my ego. So therefore, now Swayambhu Manu, he describes little more to eradicate the last tinge of the false ego which is there in Dhruva's heart. And he explains, Supreme Lord, he is the only controller. Please surrender unto him and then your false ego will be destroyed. There is no other way to destroy the false ego. And Prabhupada writes, Lord is death for the demons and he is eternal life for the devotees. Lord gives eternal life. Death comes, Lord comes in the form of death for a non-devotee, and death comes in the form of the Lord for a devotee. So that's how he says, surrender to the Lord. Please don't do anything which is unbefitting your dynasty. You have already achieved the highest destination. You have achieved Dhruva Loka. Why you are behaving in such wrong way? Oh, Dhruva, it doesn't befit you. Please turn your attention to the Supreme Lord and then you'll be freed from this conception of, he was my brother and that's why I'm suffering. Please come out of this conception of me and mine. And then he says, please give up your anger. And he gives 3 reasons. Anger is the foremost enemy of one who is on the path of self-realization. Second, one who desires liberation should not fall into the clutches of anger. Third, a person who is always angry, he is, not attractive to anyone. Nobody likes to be with that person. He is dreaded by others. So therefore, the word used is Shrutena Bhuyasa, constantly hear. Prabhupada writes, by constantly hearing about devotional service, one can check all these anarthas like anger. So therefore, he says, please give up your anger, O Dhruv Maharaj, and surrender unto the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada in the purport, he describes very wonderful story. So when it is said that, oh, Dhruva, he was appropriate and right in showing anger. Prabhupada tells a story of how Narad Muni preached to a snake one time. And he told him, why are you biting everyone? Please don't bite. So he said, okay. So after some days he came and he saw the snake is full of blood, wounds everywhere. He said, what happened? You only told that don't bite. Now people came to know they are throwing stones at me. So Narad Muni said, yes, I told you don't bite, but I didn't tell you not to hiss, not to show your hood. That is sufficient to drive people away. Prabhupada writes, devotee is always non-violent. But in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, he should not forget to become angry, at least for the time being, in order to drive away the miscreants. Otherwise, they will think, yeah, इनको कुछ भी किया तो चलेगा, I can exploit him. So devotee is not that person who looks like a very timid person, you can exploit or you can do anything wrong. No, don't forget to show anger when somebody is trying to harm. And then he says, you have killed so many yakshas for your brother and you have offended Kuvera, and Lord Shiva is also not so happy. Please ask forgiveness from Kuvera. Otherwise, he may, show his wrath on our dynasty. So after this, Manu, he went back and Dhruva offered his obeisances. So that's how this chapter ends. So we'll stop here. Yeah. So Yakshas, Kuber is the master of all the Yakshas.
And how was Shiva offended?
Kuvera is a devotee of Shiva. So that's how Kuvera and Shiva, they both were offended.
What is the Yaksha?
Yakshas are not demons. They are higher beings than human beings, of course. They are associates. Yeah. Humans se upar hi hai. Asuras are also higher than human beings.
So they are on another planet above Swargaloka, right?
Here the Swarga, the Yakshas, they were staying in Himalayas, where Lord Shiva stays in this Bhumandal. There is a Ilavrat Varsh. In that, there is a place where Yakshas also live. You know the story of Kuvera, Nalkuvar Manugriv? So that happened somewhere in that area only.
And even Arjun, when he goes, he fights the Yakshas. No, when he goes, he fights the Yakshas, and then when they end
yes, correct.
So
yes.
that's so these are the same
areas.
Same areas.
Only Bharatvarsh is accessible for human beings. In Bhumandal, in Jambudvipa, there are many areas. Most of the areas are not accessible for us. We can access only this Bharatvarsha. In Bharatvarsh also only Bharat Khanda, that is earth. Apart from that, there is a Kim Purusha Varsha, then Ilavrat Varsha, and there are so many 9 Varshas. They are all in Bhumandal. They are all in Jambudvipa. Jambudvipa is the middle of the Bhumandal.
Varsha is the one that Hanumanji is.
Yeah, Kim Purusha Varsha, Hanumanji is still living. So,
and the path is for all these Varshas is from Himalayas somewhere there?
They are all
when they
subtle,
moving northward.
Correct. So that's the way. So our Himalaya is not the Himalaya which is mentioned. Our Himalaya is in earth. There is greater Himalaya. All these Vyasdev, he stays in the greater Himalayas.
But there is Vyasdev Gufa when we go to Badrinath.
That is a representation of the original Vyas Gufa. And visiting that gives the same benefit. Because we cannot go to the original Vyas Gufa.
So then this is not the original Vyas Gufa, where Lord Vyasdev actually wrote it. No. It's not that. Oh, but this is the path that the Pandavas took to go to heaven.
I'm not sure about the exact path, but they went to the higher Himalayas. And that's why they were told humans cannot cross this. It's a place where Yakshas live. So
currently those places are there that they cross this path and this
maybe it may be the same place. No, that is another description of Bhumandal. Pavaneshwar Prabhu ko puch lijiyega.
Oh, that's very complicated.
Okay, any other questions?
Who didn't get any reaction for killing any innocent Yakshas?
No.
Nothing.
But you said restless can't be happy, and you quoted a beautiful verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Which is it just to?
I think 5.19 or 16 something. Na asti buddhi.
5th chapter basically.
5th chapter. Nasti buddhi ayuktasya na cha ayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shanti ashantasya kuta sukam. This is 5.19, I think. Any other questions anybody has?
When you say krodha bhavati sammoha, so
Hmm.
what is that moha part? Like if I'm angry, I'm shouting somebody, I'm beating someone, or I'm abusing someone. But what is that moha part?
Oh, sorry, this is second chapter, 2.66. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sorry.
When I'm angry, that's a krodha bhavati sammoha.
Hmm.
So if I'm angry, either I'm shouting at someone or beating someone, abusing someone. So what is that moha part?
Moha means illusion. You're not aware of the reality. You forget all the consequences of such action. That is the illusion which is created. We can't understand if I become angry and if I beat this person, what will happen later. People, they do unimaginable things when they are angry and then they later lament. Because that is the power of anger. Anger creates complete illusion, completely makes one forget. So mohat smriti vibram, forgets the consequences because of the illusion which is created. So that is the problem. Okay, so I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
God bless Prabhu ki jai. Thank you.